Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ethics. It's the Hope I Can't Stand, and this is Propaganda, which is where me and Taff look around the internet and find the things that have went viral around Sunderland, maybe things that we've seen that we think are interesting. We would also love to know what you've seen would be interesting, so you can leave us a comment. We might put an email in the description as well, so you can send us. So if you see anything interesting, anything propaganda about something, any fake news in this age of fake news. We don't want to get too Trumpian, but yeah, there's a lot of fake stuff going around. So we're going to do that today. We're going to find out if the propaganda is correct. I already know there's a couple of things that we maybe disagree with on this, so it's going to be interesting to see. So, Taff, should we start with some delusional magpies, some delusional mags from when we got promoted?
Let's start with a fellow Celt. Why not?
Yeah, okay,
he's got overexcited.
So this is the Irish guy. I suppose we should credit his video. So this is the Irish guy. He's got a YouTube channel with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, to be fair to him. So well done him. But I think he's a bit of a rage baiter. It's fair to say he likes to annoy. I think he is also a Newcastle fan as well, which is probably why he's done this video. But yeah, he did a video in May after Sunderland got promoted, and I've just clipped up some of the highlights for us all to enjoy.
Team signs too many players at once, it will rip up the morale and self-esteem of the players who got you up, and it will just leave you as a bloated mess, where the boss still doesn't know his best side by Christmas. I'm going to tell you it now, drink it in. I don't think Sunderland will put a single win on the board, and they will become the first team in Premier League history to not even put a points total up in the double digits.
So, I think there's a lot of digest there. And I think this is a great time to look at this because we have officially, we've got through the double digits.
Well, yeah, we've beaten Southampton's entire seasonal score in just 8 games. So yeah, I look forward to the Irish guy giving us an update on Sunderland's relegation and disastrous bloated team performance.
Do you think you'll do it? Maybe like an apology video?
I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, at some point, he'll have to do something about who's getting relegated. I don't know, about Christmas time when everyone's played once. I tell you when it'll come out. It'll come out in AFCON or something like that. When that, we've got that horrible run in January.
Yeah.
And they say, see, I told you, they haven't won in 6. And it's all going to go downhill. That's when we'll get it again. So I hope there's an opportunity to revisit this propaganda later on.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm
not. Yeah.
He actually apparently tipped us to get relegated to League One last season as well. So there we are. He's 0-2 so far, I think, on his bold predictions.
Well, look, I get it. I get that it's part of the game on YouTube, but most of these people who talk about us haven't seen us and don't know anything about us. Which is great for you and me because then they watch people who do watch us. But that's the problem. It's like Micah Richards on the BBC saying, hands up, I thought that I didn't know how they were going to get so many new players to play together. Well, Labrie did it last season when he arrived with a month to go. I just think you haven't watched this. You don't know these things. So
yeah, well,
I look forward to the Irish guys. The Irish guys' reappraisal of the relegation battle.
I think we've still got about 40 seconds of this left. And he says a few more corkers, so...
This is going to be a super painful year, where they will have their dignity spread across Scottish. Top it off, there's probably going to be a 7-0 defeat. Maybe 8. Maybe 9. Maybe even 10. And to top it all off, the cherry on the top of a hideous, poisonous pancake that will be their revolting season back in the Prem. I reckon they're going to be slapped in both Tyne-Weir derbies, because Newcastle and United are out for revenge. I genuinely think we're looking at the biggest Tyne-Weir derby defeat since Sunderland scored 9 in 1908. Wow, that must have been an embarrassing afternoon. But yeah, I will say that Newcastle will win 6-0 at St. James's Park and maybe 5-1 in Sunderland. It's going to be rough. And when you add all those things together, I think this is going to be hands down the worst Premier League season of all time.
Wow. Yeah, he's completely wrong. He's completely wrong. Although I'll give him mild credit for saying that they will win at our place 5-1 because they did once.
Give us a goal.
Yeah, I'm sure he's harking back to that, isn't he?
Yeah. So, I mean, in the longer video, he referenced the fact that beat us 3-0 when we were in League One, even though it wasn't when we were in League One. But he did reference that, and I was like, well, obviously we've got stronger since then, and you only beat us 3-0 when we had Michael Beale. So the fact that you think you're going to win 5-1 at our place, I mean, maybe they will, and maybe he'll make a video about us in a couple of months' time, talking about how much of an idiot we are. But I think his main thing, we are not the worst Premier League team. Yeah, that's true.
No, not even close. The only thing I really would like is if we beat them in December, then he will be right about 7-0, because it will be 7 league games in a row that they have lost. So let's.
The Drew one, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, the Drew the last one
after the 6 in a row. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, but it would be like 12 games or something that will win, something like that. I don't know. 9. I don't know how many games it is in the league. They haven't beat us in the league since that Ryan Taylor goal. So that's like 2011, 2010, 2011. Something like
that. We've got nothing to lose in that game. I don't think anybody expects us to win. They have more experience, probably a better squad, or at least that's what we thought when we started. And they've got everything to lose against us. And if we come out on top, then I look forward to examining their city centre on the Sunday and Monday morning.
Yeah, they do enjoy that, don't they? Surely you destroy the other people's place, not your own place. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I'll let you know though, because I can actually nearly see St James's Park from my house. So I'll let you know if I see flames coming over from my gates at home.
I mean, steady on. That game's a long way off, and
yeah, that's true.
And they have got a good side.
But let's propaganda rating. I think this is definitely propaganda, isn't it? I think this is.
Yeah, it's bait. Who doesn't like to predict disaster? Disaster is always much more fun than success. So, I mean, it's not uncommon. But it's very fun for us because, presumably he made that before we signed any of our players.
Yeah, he's made that as soon as we've won the playoff final, I think.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what he says about us next. I don't think that YouTubers are in the habit of eating humble pie, though. So,
no.
What are we going to give it a rating? A propaganda score?
Yeah, I'll give it like a 10 out of 10. That is pure like bait. That is pure just I'm a Newcastle fan and I'm putting this into the world just to irritate.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'll agree with that. That's a 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the standard. I don't think it can get any worse than that. But we'll stick with the playoff final theme because we've got this here from Joel Birmingham. So he's put a tweet up. This is the day after the playoff final, the morning after. I think he's not Birmingham fan. He's a Sheffield United fan.
Blades fan.
Yeah. So they've gone up on 76 points. Absolute state of that with 2 laughing faces. They'll be worse than Southampton this season. Bookmark, whatever you want to do. I don't care. So we've bookmarked this. This is us bookmarking.
Well, I bookmarked it, and so did an absolute mountain of Sunderland fans because on Twitter he's been retweeted.
Look at those views. 586,000 views.
Yeah, there's got to be 86,000 of them are going to be bookmarked because it's all popped up every week. Every week it pops up, and I'm saying, I've bookmarked this. What now? What happens now, Joel?
Yeah.
We need an answer. We need an answer, Joel Birmingham. What happens now? We've bookmarked it, and it's not true. We've beaten Southampton.
Yeah, at least for him, Sheffield United are no longer bottom of the championship. They've won their second game of the season. So it does have that.
Yeah. To be fair to him, often in this situation, people delete the original tweet so that the quotes can't happen. And he hasn't done that. So he's stood behind it. He really doesn't care what we do. But it's great fun.
That is good fun.
But Joel, I need an answer, Joel. I need an answer. What now? We've done this.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I mean, I just think he deserves credit for leaving up. That's why I'm not going to give this a 10 propaganda score. I think this deserves some respect because he's left it. You know, it's easy to delete things off Twitter. Like the Irish guy, he's making money off that video still because people like me are going back and watching it. Whereas this guy, he's just left this on. He could have easily deleted it and forgot about it, but he's just thought, you know what? I'm just going to take it. So I think he deserves maybe like a 5 or a 6.
All weekend, I've seen this retweeted by people I follow, giving him pelters. And his tweet is still there. He hasn't got rid of it. So, yes. Nice, man. You're taking it on the chin. But I need to know what happens, Joel. I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6. Yeah. It's in the moment bitterness, isn't it?
Yeah,
Serves you right for supporting the wrong team, Mr. Birmingham.
Yeah, he couldn't even sell out his away end at Wembley either, which was poor. Anyway, let's we've got some more delusional mags to come, but I want to talk about something from the weekend. So we've got this here. This is from an article on Wolves. It was a Wolves fan website, anyway. But one of the fans has pointed out the fact that we do a foul throw every time on a long throw, and apparently the Wolves bench were whinging about it. And technically, we did kind of score from a long throw. I don't know if VAR ever intervenes on that. I've never ever seen VAR overturn a goal for a foul throw. I'm very intrigued to see if that would be serious outrage if it was to happen. But I've got this little sort of screenshot here where you can see as Mukiele's about to throw the ball, that back foot is, I would say, there's a little bit of daylight there. You can see. I mean, it's obviously not a great screenshot, but this is for the Trey Hume header. This is that way hits the post, and I think that is a foul throw. I actually watched the game and said every single time we take a throw, and I always say it's a foul throw, but nobody's ever picked us up on it.
Yeah, I mean, I got myself in a right knot. Not necessarily arguing, but talking to people about the when I can't remember who it was against Man United when Lemons cleared out whoever was on the wing there. I can't remember who it was, and people saying, "Why didn't VAR intervene?" Who was it he cleared out? I can't remember now.
Traore,
right on the edge of his box. Was it Traore? Yeah, that's right. He cleared out Traore, and Traore had bumbled the ball between him and the defender, and he got cleaned out. It was actually it wasn't by Lemons that people thought. It was a trip from whoever the defender was at the time. And if that doesn't happen, he's through on goal. And I was thinking, well, there's another defender there, but the defender is actually behind him, and you're like, 12 yards away in an open goal. The defender is probably getting nowhere near that. And so people say, well, why isn't that a red? Why isn't that a red card? Why doesn't VAR intervene? Because that's a clear goal scoring opportunity, and VAR can intervene. And I thought, well, I don't think it is. I think they're not allowed to intervene on something outside the box. But then the very next day, there's a Chelsea red card outside the box for denying a goal scoring opportunity that the referee said the player had got, and VAR intervened and said, no, he didn't, and therefore a red card. And I was struggling to see the difference between that Chelsea red card and our red card, which were both incidents outside the box. On both occasions, the referee said nothing wrong, but VAR intervened on one of them and not another. And I was struggling to see the difference there. So I cannot honestly say to you whether VAR intervenes for our goal or not. So, I mean, I don't know if it's a foul throw or not. I haven't been watching, but I will be now. But if it is, I don't know if they intervene or not. Clearly they didn't.
I think that his foot, I watch for it now because I've noticed it early on. I think his back foot comes up just before he throws the ball. Maybe if you watched it in slow motion, maybe like the tip of his boot, maybe. But to me, it looks like his back foot comes up, but nobody's pulled him up on it yet. He hasn't been done for a foul throw. But I think now people may look for it. Like referees may be told, especially if Wolves have complained, watch out for this foul throw.
I saw lots of stuff going around about Florian Wirtz yesterday, like doing a throw mid-air with neither feet on the floor.
People don't. The referees very rarely check on them.
Yeah, and VAR doesn't intervene on any of it. So I don't know where we're at. I don't think people care about VAR as long as it's consistent. And that's the problem. It's not consistently applied from one referee or one game to another. So, I think it would be. Is it a matter of time before a clear foul throw results in a goal?
Well,
VAR does something.
But the way that every team in the Premier League has a long throw, don't they? So that will happen at some stage, I would guess. And if it's found that a goal goes in, it's an obvious foul throw. I'm not talking about maybe you can see a tiny bit. If it's an obvious foul throw and it goes in and then it gets given, I think there'll be a massive conversation around it because of the amount of long throws that are going on.
Well, we'll see. I don't think this is that bad for propaganda because all of the stuff I saw from Wolves, they did say, is no one going to talk about the foul throw for the goal? But in none of that did anybody say they deserve to win or they could have got a draw. They were all very, accepting of defeat. They didn't. I didn't come across a single Wolves fan who thought they were hard done by in the game, even if they say, well, is that a foul throw? There's
It's
a lot
not
of play between
propaganda.
the throw and the goal.
I don't
No,
think.
I think it's no. I'm not going to give it a 2. I mean, you're complaining. I get it, but I don't think it's ever given. And there are many worse examples. Like Verts of the weekend is giving a throw, leaping in midair. So no.
I think
So
the
day it happens to us, though. The day it happens to us.
We'll be on here. We'll be on somebody else's propaganda channel. Whinging on. Right, okay, so yeah, that's a 0. Right, we've got a Newcastle fan on TalkSport here. So this one, I think, went pretty viral on, it was Saturday night. It was literally after the game, wasn't it? Yeah,
it's
so
dynamite.
let's have a watch of Jamie O'Hara, Jason Cundy, and a couple of Northeast football fans.
Man, they've come up right, and they think they're gonna they thought they were gonna win the league when they won the first couple of games.
Did you think we were going to win the league after we won one game because we didn't win my first couple of games?
No. I think that's called irony. I think we're saying it clearly, knowing we're not going to. But let's buy Dylan a dictionary.
Yeah, let's let him continue on.
Now they've been literally. I don't think any other Premier League side in history has had an easier first 8 games.
Dylan, you're sounding bitter, mate.
I love that reaction, by the way, from the two pundits. But yeah, do you know what, that fixture list thing, though, is worth talking about, because I actually had Newcastle fans messaging me over the weekend being like, oh, you've had like the easiest fixtures ever. Bearing in mind, Newcastle have only won 2 games this season, both against teams that are in the relegation zone, just as an FYI. So they've beaten Wolves and they've beaten Nottingham Forest. 2 teams that we've beaten, but we've beaten 2 other teams on top of that.
You can only play who is put in front of you. And I did reply to somebody who was talking about this, because there are lots of people who tweeted it. This guy's rung in, given his real name, and talked about it. But I know. I just think we played Forest. Okay, granted they're different, but they qualified for Europe last season. We played Villa, who last season progressed to the knockout stages of the Champions League. These are not necessarily easy games. Now, we might have been fortunate about when we played them. We also played the FA Cup winners and Charity Shield winners. You're playing a second round, a knockout phase Champions League side, Europa Conference League side, the FA Cup and Charity Shield winners. These are not gimmies, and we played well in those games. The following, I think it was the week after, Palace went and beat Liverpool. Yes, we got beat by Man United, but after we solved our tactical choices in the first half hour, we looked relatively good there. I remember talking about it with you, and we agreed it's hard to know how much Man United sat back. But you look at the Man United performance a week later against Liverpool, and these performances start to look quite good. At some point, people have got to start to say, well, the results are not about other people, managers, poorness, easy fixes. At some point, they've got to be about us. And I've not come away from a game, even the Man United one. I thought they were excellent, particularly down the right-hand side with Mbeno and Ahmad, but and they're interchanging as well. I thought they were really good, but after we changed our tactics, there hasn't been a game where I've thought, my God, I'm terrified. We're in real trouble in this division. And I just think if you look around, and you get 8-9 games, and you start thinking, well, where is the supremely dangerous team that will batter us? I know maybe we haven't played them yet, but the longer you look around wondering where that is, maybe you're all right. And I'm sorry, but Dylan has not been watching who we've been playing. I don't agree with the easy fixture list. Sure, it could have been tougher, but
it could have been
side,
I feel like if you were a Burnley fan right now, you could probably make an argument that they've picked up 2 home wins and a draw in the games that they expect to pick points up, and then all the other games are games that if Sunderland were playing them, I would have said, well, if we lose, we lose. Like if we lose at home to Liverpool, it is what it is. If we lose away at Man United, which we did, it is what it is. If we lose against, who else did they play this season? Tottenham away. Like these are all games where you sort of think it kind of is what it is, but I don't think there's anyone else in the league. Like they've had a particularly hard fixture list. But when you've played 8 games, you can't have played 8 terrible teams. There's not 8 terrible teams in the Premier League.
But it's really hard to make those comparisons because Burnley got beat by Liverpool, but then Palace went and beat Liverpool, and we relatively comfortably contained Palace. Burnley got beat by
Forest.
Tottenham. Yeah, Burnley got beat by Tottenham, and you looked at Tottenham play. They were fortunate to get over past Wolves the other week, and we were comfortable against Wolves. So it's really hard to make those team comparisons. It's still quite early. It's about consistency. I think we've got really good consistency in our team. So I don't know if you can make those those comparisons. I get that Burnley have played some big teams, but we've played teams that have beaten some of them as well. So, or given them a tough time. And I don't think they're easy games, although some of them have appeared to be. I think we're still figuring out, have we been fortunate? Is our XG going to catch up with us? Or do we actually really have a pretty good side here?
Yeah.
I think most of us are kind of in that latter camp. I starting to genuinely believe. I think we've got a really good side here. Maybe it's still too early to tell, but no, you compare the teams that we've played against, who they've beaten, and I don't think it's grossly different at all. And we've played some teams in there who are quite capable, and I'm sure we'll go on to prove they are.
Yeah. Okay, let's play this on a little bit more.
Sunderland fan, Jordan. All right, Jordan.
All right, Jordan.
Hiya, Jimmy, mate. All right.
All right,
Dylan,
Dylan, mate. These Newcastle fans, they're digging you out, saying you.
First of all, right. Listen, Dylan, mind the gap, sunshine. Right. Right. No, but listen, Jimmy.
We'll see how big the gap is at the end of the season when you're at the bottom of the league.
What I'm concerned about, though, is credit where credit's due, Danny Welbeck, his age still knocking it about, scoring goals in the Premier League, right, Dill? But you're more concerned after 8 games about Sunderland's results than your own results. I mean, you've lost more than us, you know what I mean? You should be a big worry.
When you come to St James's Park, the record, right, is 9-0 in the Premier League, right?
It was 6 in a row, mate. Well, you beat us in League One in the FA Cup, right?
Newcastle beat Sunderland 10-0, easy. 10-0 when you come to St James's Park.
What I did want to say,
bet any money would beat us 10-0.
10.
Well, first of all, Jordan, wherever you are a diamond. That's absolutely magnificent trolling of him. Well done, sir. But at 10-0, that's much bigger than the Irish guy said.
I was going to say, the Irish guy's not optimistic enough.
He only said 7.
Yeah, I think he said 6, didn't he? 6 at St James's. It was 5-1. 5-1 at the stadium, right? And 6-0 at their place. So, yeah, 10. That wouldn't be good.
I think the next person has surely got to say 12. I mean,
yeah, it's got to go up.
Isn't it?
As we extend our gap between Newcastle, the expanse of their victory at St James's Park is only going to increase.
Yeah, I like that idea. The bigger the gap, the bigger their victory will inevitably be. It's got to be a 10. Dylan, I hope you phone in again because that was magnificent listening.
I do think it's interesting that I think Newcastle fans, I think Newcastle as a club didn't really see Sunderland as like even a threat this season. I feel like that it surprised them how well we've come up and sort of adjusted when I think they thought we just go down pretty embarrassed. I mean, the conversations I was having in the summer, I know a lot of people who support Newcastle just because of where I live, and the conversation was more, isn't it nice he's back in the Premier League? Oh, it's good for you to be back. And it was very condescending, and I think now we actually look like decent. They're a bit like, oh, maybe actually like these are going to be all right for a few years and like actually maybe compete at the top end, well, not the top end of the league, but, compete in the Premier League like a team like Brighton does going forward. And I think they've sort of been shocked by that.
Yeah. I mean, we are exceeding our post-Wembley expectations. I think we all kind of said, I'm not going to think about it for a month. I'm just going to enjoy the Wembley win. But we're exceeding those expectations right now. And that's, that makes you, wonderfully happy because, hey, this is great. This is like, this is all a bonus. But it's much harder to publicly have your expectations adjusted downwards to say you're not going to do that good. And they're facing that in multiple areas. So they're not performing in the league. They didn't get the players they wanted when they were signing, although they to have picked up a good one in Voltamada. Whoever turned down 50 million for Strand Larsen to Newcastle needs sacking at Wolves, because that would have been a great signing for them. Whoever bid 50 million at Newcastle, whoever bid 50 million, is that agent Jack Ross? Is he doing that?
No, I think
He
he's
was sporting director.
No, I think he's academy. I don't think he actually is. It's Andy Howe, which is Eddie Howe's nephew. I think is the one doing the transfers, as far as I'm aware.
I mean, if he was prepared to pay 50 million for Strand Larsen, they need to get rid of him. But I'm very happy that they're doing that. No, so on multiple fronts, their expectations are much reduced. They're in the Champions League. They're expected to do really well. They're expected to kick on. They're expected to compete against those in the top of the table. And they've had quite the painful summer and wake up call there. And it's annoying to have to readjust. And I think that it's a natural consequence to lash out at your neighbours who are doing better than you expect, and they're pretty much the only team you can hope to punch. And God help the town centre if we beat them, and
the local horse population.
Yeah. Do you remember last time? Di Canio was our manager, and well, no, it wasn't the last time, but
that's the horse punching day. That one.
That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. So Vaughan scored the greatest goal of his entire career, didn't he?
He was offside. To be fair, he was actually offside.
No, that is propaganda. I'm not having it.
It definitely was offside.
So I remember after the horse got punched, there were some people on Ready to Go who organised rebranding a packet of Polo mints, and they rebranded them in the same logo and design and called them Paulo mints. And they sent them to the Durham Constabulary horse place. And the police took a picture of them feeding the Paulo mints to the horse, and they got reposted.
Didn't loads of Sunderland fans befriend the horse and stuff and go see it? I'm sure I remember seeing images of Sunderland fans putting a Sunderland top on the horse and all sorts back in the day.
I can't remember.
Good times. Those are good times. But yeah, I mean, I try not to make a point really of talking about Newcastle that much, but I just feel like in this propaganda section that we're going to do, it's going to be very difficult not to have a lot of Newcastle, because they do come out with some really good content that is ideal for us.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I think you're right. There is a relationship between how well we continue to do and how big the smacking they're going to give us in the game is. There is a relationship there, and it's just going to go up the better we do, which is hilarious.
I think what I think's interesting, I'll say to my friends when it comes to the Derby chat, and I'll just be like, well, you should beat us. You have spent so much money. You're owned by a country that is one of the richest in the world. You're a sports washing exercise. If you don't beat us, it's just embarrassing. I just accept that exactly. You should, because of the resources, the wage bill, and everything else you have. We're the little club, we're the little dinky club that you pat on the head and go, oh, isn't it all right? That's how you treat us. So
I think they know this. I think they know this, and I think that's what's prompting all of this absurdity. They know that they should win, and they look at us now and think, in the space of 3 months, they're like, oh, it's less certain that will happen now. So that makes them nervous. And until the actual game day, I think it'll get worse and worse. But it will make for some glorious propaganda. And if you see any more of it, please send it to us.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to end propaganda for this week. So let us know if you enjoyed this. This is something that I actually saw on a Leeds fanzine called The Square Ball, which it's really, really good, actually. I mean, even if you're not a Leeds fan, I occasionally watch it, but they have a section called Propaganda that I featured in once, which is why I know about it. I'd done a video for the Daily Mirror going to a Leeds game, and no, it wasn't negative about Leeds. They just featured it on their channel, and I got sent it. So that's how I discovered them doing that. So yeah, this is a stolen idea from them. So thank you to The Square Ball and Leeds United, and thanks Taff for joining me for Propaganda. And we'll have a Chelsea preview coming out where we will be again wearing the same clothes as we were in the Wolves review, which you hopefully watched as well.
I will put on a clean Mastodon t-shirt. It may look exactly the
same. Yeah, I will also put on a clean white Sunderland hoodie for the occasion.
Is it a Sunderland hoodie?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I can see it.
Yeah. I was subtly wearing a Sunderland thing. I know you can't really tell, but yeah, always trying to subtly wear something. Sunderland.
Okay.
Anyway, let us know what you think about propaganda, and we'll catch you for the Chelsea preview.